Hey Jeremy. Good evening, I hope you're well. So, I'm in the middle of doing my, hey Tony. So you may well be aware that I'm in the middle of doing another remodel of my workshop. So I'm currently in a different position, in a temporary situation, and room just for one little pipe tray, just to show that there's some pipe content. Once there's a few more people on, I'll give you a little tour of where I'm up to so far. In terms of smoking, let me just put my extractor on. Hey Fabio, how you doing? Long time no see. I hope you're well. I forget your first name, remind me. Is it Jose? I can't remember. Hey Mike. We're a little bit nearer the extractor, so it might make a little bit more noise. So, what to smoke? I got this from Mark. I just uploaded a video with a package that Mark sent me, which was very generous of him. So this is Samber Tupelo, which was very nice of him to send me. I think he ordered a whole bunch of them. There's his sticker. I think I'm going to dedicate a separate video to this tobacco. It would make sense because a lot of people don't actually watch the lives, because the lives are obviously they go on for a while, so they wouldn't necessarily realise that there's a tasting of a new tobacco. So I'll probably do a separate first impressions video for the new Samber. It looks like they're doing it as an annual thing now. Originally it started off with some vintage tobaccos that they had, vintage Orientals. It was really built on those Orientals, those vintage Orientals, but I guess that's done with now. And the Orientals, hey Mad Piper, Patrick, the Orientals on this one are just a few years old, from 2018 and 2019. So I guess they've decided to make an annual thing of it. Why not? I mean, it seems to be going well, and it's a nice injection of cash each year because it sells out. So But I think what we'll see over the years is that it will sell out more slowly. I think, I went on, I think it was released on the Wednesday. I went on to Smoking Pipes on the Thursday and they still had it. I think by that weekend it was all gone, but it was there for a couple of days. So if anybody wanted, it wasn't like it's gone within a second, like some Esoterica or Germaine's, that kind of thing, where you're on a waiting list, you get the email, if you don't hit that email straight away, it's gone, that kind of thing. So I think that it's a very nice sort of a highlight each year to look forward to, I guess. It's a bit like LJ Peretti's releases that they do, the Thanksgiving one, and a lot of people look forward to the what's that pumpkin one? Deep Hollow or something like that, is it called? Not Deep Hollow, it's called... I do have a couple of jars of it. Those are right in the garage now. It's that pumpkin one. Who is it that releases that one? I can't remember now. But that one is looked forward to every year. And it's become part of the tradition of the pipe community as such, that there are these annual releases. Sleepy Hollow, thank you, Tony. So that actually, I used to really like that tobacco. It's got a really rich, sweet flavour to it, and it's actually very nice, but it's very wet. I haven't smoked it for a long time, but it does have a good flavour. Anyway, so this one, I'm going to save this for a separate video. I do have, this is the Sunbear from 2022, the Mountain Flower, which I opened quite recently and tried for the first time. Hi Mitch, yeah, Sleepy Hollow. Got a really interesting aroma. It's got quite a chocolatey aroma on there. I don't remember when I opened this. It'll be interesting to dip into it from time to time and see how it matures over time. I think the intention with all the Sunbears is that they should improve with age, I think. And then whilst I was doing the remodeling, I came across this jar with a single pouch inside. Hey McPhil. And it turns out it's Germaine's Special Latakia Flake, and it's dated October 2022. And I'd completely forgotten about it. I do have various different years of Special Latakia Flake. I've probably got a couple of kilos of it. Oof, that smells very strong. Or maybe not a couple of kilos, but a kilo probably. I think I've got 2 half-kilo bags plus some jars which I've filled up over the years. Oh wow, that is so rich. No, that's lucky, Jeremy. I don't remember Special Latakia Flake having that kind of bag note or tin note. Whoa, that is so rich. I mean, generally speaking, I don't associate rich in terms of aroma for Special Latakia Flake. But this, having sat in the jar on its own, maybe because it's in the plastic pouch, maybe, I don't know. I was going to take just some vanilla roll cake, but I kind of just saw these jars like flying around, and I thought maybe I'll try something like that, so I'm a bit undecided. I might go for some of that Special Latakia Flake, Jeremy. it does look very, very good. The smell is very rich, so I'm kind of keen to see if that translates into a different experience smoking wise. So do you want to see where the workshop is up to? I'm assuming you guys have some recollection of what hey Justin, of what my workshop looked like beforehand. So essentially I had the lathe on the right hand wall, and over here I had my bandsaw. Let me show you. Oh, excuse me. I'm just gonna take it out of the doodah. So I'm just going to go wider. Okay, so this is where we're up to so far. So previously I was sitting over there. That was my desk area. Then I had a divider over here. Then I had a lathe. And behind the lathe I had this sander. My grinder was not out, it was just taken out when it was needed, but it was not on a bench. Over here I had the shaping wheel and the bandsaw, and over here I had my lathe on its original steel legs. So the lathe is obviously gone. The lathe is here now. I've also tucked in the other lathe in the corner there because this older lathe was only doing buffing duties. I really only ever use it as a motor for my buffing wheels. That being the case, I mean, I could, if I ever needed to, use it as a lathe for emergencies if I needed a second lathe, but it's generally speaking only used for buffing. So to tuck it in over there just made sense. I made that little extension there with a foot going down to support it, and that will be just fine. Then we have the lathe. Obviously it's no longer on the legs, so I had to make sure that it was solid. So I first of all put a second skin of ply underneath that to give it more rigidity, and then I built a frame underneath to support it under the lathe, and I have a leg over here as well. And this sanding wheel, which I use for the initial sort of cleaning off the block and squaring it off, that now has a prominent position which I don't have to lean over the other lathe for. And having this angle grinder up here just means that I can sharpen my chisels with more ease. I don't have to start fishing it out from a cupboard or whatever. And over here there'll be another bit of wood in due course where my bandsaw, which is on the floor at the moment, but it's going to be over there somewhere in that corner. I couldn't put it on the workbench because of the wall units over here. It was too high for that. And the extractor, the main extractor, used to be in that corner there, is now in that corner. And what I'm trying to do is keep all the dust in this end, so that my desk area doesn't get as dusty. This has its own dedicated extractor, so it's not such a problem. And this evening I built a little stand for my shaping wheel. I've ordered some casters, and actually what I'm going to do is have it mobile, so that when I'm not using it I can just turn it around and tuck it in, and when I want to use it I just wheel it out, and I'll have the I'll set up the extraction scoop so that it just sits nicely on the side. I'll have to sort of work out some kind of contraption, or I might do what a lot of people do, is build some kind of hood into the actual pedestal there that I built. So basically the idea is that I can just pull this out into the room, I can work on my pipe that I'm working on with comfort, and then when I'm done it just goes back in there, and it'll be on wheels, so it'll go in very easily, and that will just tuck in just perfectly over there, and that will, you know, give me plenty of room for standing here. And then I've taken out those two drawers that I had here, the two drawer packs. The main function of this whole remodeling was to give me more room. So you can see here there's much more width here. The reason for that is because beforehand the drawers that I had they were kitchen drawers, and they were much deeper. They were 600. They came out to somewhere like that, and I took those out, and I did some research to see what give me the shallowest drawers but still a decent amount of storage, and then I shortened the depth from here to the wall enough to have the machines on, and that's it. So I've actually given myself much more room in here to just move around. And you can see there's from there to there, it's, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, something like 5 foot, which beforehand just I was banging myself everywhere. So, and so these are obviously tool chests. They don't give me as much depth as I had before, but if you just, they need to be organized. So that's the most important thing, is if you can just organize things so that you make the best use of the space, then you can actually really do well with these things. So that is pretty much where I'm at the moment. So, should we go for the special Latakia flake then? I was going to continue this cigar. I saw this cigar on Friday. This is a Monte Cristo 2016 limited edition. It's known as the Dantes. A very nice cigar, but I know that if I smoke it now, with the windows being open and stuff, my wife will smell it going out through the extractor then back in, and she'll complain. So, which is fair enough. She doesn't want to be smelling that when she's going to sleep. And it seems to be more the cigar than pipe tobacco that does that. So, like I say, this is from 2022, special Latakia Flake. So reasonably fresh, but it looks very good. Nicely mottled, sort of dark and brighter areas. Obviously Latakia and Virginia. It is really very moist. Hey Bob. There are a few considerations. You know, you try to plan. Hey Jeffrey. You try to plan things out as best as you can, but it never really. You always forget something. Picked up a Quantum. I'm assuming you mean a Quorum from your liquor store. Yeah, I think they're good cigars. Did you have the natural or the Maduro? What did you have? This has got a very fermented kind of aroma. It's really quite acrid. It's really quite campfirey, which is, I wouldn't usually go for. I mean, if I didn't already know, especially Latakia Flake, and I went to the shop and they offered me this and I took a whiff from the jar, I probably wouldn't buy it. Yeah, which quorum did you have? You had the natural, good. I mean, I think the natural's got a very good flavour. I haven't tried the Maduro for a long time, so maybe I'll try that again soon. Just let that air out. I don't have my computer up and running yet, so I'm looking at this on my other phone. Any more developments with this, Mike? I mean, they're they're not a premium cigar. There's no question about that. They're not a premium cigar, so you're going to have sort of bits of tobacco coming into your mouth. They are short leaf, but for the money, for I don't know what it is, $1.75 or $1.50. If you're buying them individually, maybe you pay a few pennies more. I'm not sure, but if you buy a pack of 20, it works out less than $2 per cigar. And to my mind, that's a really good value. $3, okay. Yeah, if you're buying them individually, I should imagine you're going to pay a bit more. This tobacco is really very moist. I must remember, I've got to do an order for some briar. I haven't ordered briar for quite some time. I still have a reasonable stock, but I need to build it up a little bit. Thing is, what I've noticed now is that I would say in the last year or so, the tobacco, or even 2 years or so, the briar that you get is damper than it used to be. So much so that some of the suppliers actually tell you that it still needs a minimum of 3 months drying out time before you can use it. And if they're telling you 3 months, then probably you want to wait a bit longer than that as a minimum. Some guys will still put it away for a few years before they use it, continue airing them out. But I would say 2 to 3 years ago, a lot of the Mimo briar that you would buy is very usable straight away. You could air it out more, but most of the time it was well done, it was well cured, and it was ready for use. But I think that's Vermont Freehound does as well, does it? Right. Okay. So that's something which I've certainly noticed with a couple of suppliers, is that that they tell you that it is wet, and that's even more reason why you need to build up your stock, because you need time to rotate your stock, so that by the time you've finished one stock, your next stock is ready for use. And it's not as simple as that, because you could actually go, you might want to try and make a particular pipe, and you're searching through your blocks and you just need a different shape or a different orientation of the grain or whatever, and you're not finding it, so you have to go through your whole stock to find a particular type of piece of briar, and you may not have it. So you have to go to newer stock. I've got my main sort of ready to go area, which is here in my workshop, but I've got 4 other boxes, all of different ages, in various different rooms of the house, just in storage. I leave them always with the lids open so that they're continuously drying out. But I still every so often go into those, and any ones which are ready, if I'm looking for a particular grain structure, if it's ready, I'll use it, because you don't necessarily have everything that you want with the blocks that you've got sitting in the workshop. So it's really important. Yeah, this one is pretty wet as well. If you spread it out fairly thin and you keep rotating it, it won't take too long. It's almost ready to go. I have a Northern Briars pipe on order. It should be ready very soon. When I originally ordered it, he quoted me 8 weeks. I must be getting fairly close. I don't actually remember when I called him. Didn't take note of it. Yeah, that's the thing, Ash. That's the thing with the special Latakia flake, is that the way it's put together is you can sometimes get a section which is mostly Virginia, and that does happen that way sometimes. And when I usually order it, because it's bulk, it's not usually in tins. Occasionally you can get tins, but it's quite rare. So usually if you're ordering some online, it's being taken from a bulk bag. So whoever your supplier is, just ask them to make sure they give you a well-balanced few ounces. Good mixture of dark and light. That's what I do. And this one's got a pretty good mixture. Hey Texas. I'm just using my phone for the messages. I don't have my computer connected up yet. And calling this a flake is such a stretch. I mean, it's still pretty wet actually. So the Latakia crumbles and you end up with Latakia dust. I'm trying to just get some of that and sprinkle it on. That's the problem with special Latakia flake. is that because, and I've said this every time I talk about this blend, is that that's the only problem with this, is how the Latakia crumbles, and you have to be very careful when you're loading your pipe or when you're rubbing it out, not to destroy. We don't have JR Cigars now. I've just lit up some special Latakia Flake. Hey JMO. It's my first bowl of the day actually. Yeah, you can get it in tins. I do have some tins, but I tend not to use them because I've got quite a bit of it jarred up anyway, so might as well let it age slowly in the tin. I think pretty much all European countries have more reasonable tobacco taxes than England does. I think England has the most onerous tobacco taxes in the whole of Europe. Well, that flavour, to me anyway, it's got a Cuban-esque kind of flavour. For the money, that's why I think it's an absolute bargain, because it's got a really good flavour. But for Americans it may not be an attractive flavour, because American cigars tend to be spicy, peppery. Mario Grande. I used to have a Mario Grande, a huge one, back in the day. Yeah, Canada's got ridiculously large, similar to us, I think. So that's about the same difference. I find that with Cuban cigars, it's like a cedar and green tea kind of flavour, and on the retro hill you get a tangy sweetness, and that's a really good way of describing it, and I think I get that kind of thing on the Corums. This is beautiful, this tobacco. It really is. It's hard to beat. Special Latakia Flake is just an awesome tobacco. It's very Moorish. Have I had one aged? No, don't think so. Depends what you call aged. I think that special Latakia flake, I think it's literally just Virginia and Cyprian Latakia. Um, but it makes for a very refined flavor, and it's not too complicated. You know, some of the mixtures, they end up getting too rich. This is just got a sort of a bready, grassy Virginia and that sweet Latakia flavor. It's just sublime. Oh dear, 150 flipping Laura. More chocolatey. Okay. Well, I've had mine for a few months, but the pack's nearly finished. I don't know how many I've got left. Maybe just one or two left now. I've gave away quite a few of them. But I probably won't be ordering them direct anymore. If I do get them, I'll probably have to ask somebody to order them for me. Well, if Latakia goes away, it's going to be a nightmare for a lot of people, because Latakia, well, the truth be told, it's about learning how to do it. There's no reason for Latakia to go away. That's the truth. I mean, Latakia is a process. It's not a tobacco. So, I mean, I think most of the Latakia tobacco does come from the Balkan regions, but Greek regions. But I assume there's no, I mean, unless it's the type of wood that they're using, maybe for the smoking, that makes a difference. Could be, I don't know. But technically, I guess you can Latakia anywhere. So it's not like Perique, for instance, or Syrian Latakia, because it's geographically based, because it's a specific Syrian Latakia, and I suppose Cyprian Latakia is the same. It's based, it's a Cypriot product, but I'm thinking that there's no reason why you can't make Latakia anywhere. Yeah, I know, Texas, that I wasn't answering your question, I was just talking generally. But if you're asking what is it similar to? Hey Dwight, how you doing? I'm not very happy with you, Dwight. I didn't win your knife. I might get in touch with you anyway, maybe order one up. I'm a little bit on edge because earlier on this evening, a whacking great big spider just walked across the table. I'm not phobic about spiders, but I don't particularly want one walking across the table. So I'm worried I might have one walking up my legs. Yeah, that could make sense. RMVM77. And with the wood as well that they used to burn in order to make the smoking, the smoky effect. That could also be regional. Who knows? I don't know enough about it. I'm wearing my Pipe Club of London cap. That's the latest version of it. The desk area is different, Dan. I've completely remodeled my workshop, so I did show around a little tour a little bit earlier. I might do it again before I go. Yeah, there's no reason not to join PCOL because it's cheap and you can do it remotely from anywhere in the world. I think it's £25 to be an associate member. It's cheap as chips. We tried a Partagas for the first time, and as good as it was, you prefer the Dominican style. Yeah, like I say, in America, you're so used to, you have a palate for the American style, for the New World style cigars, and I find a lot of people who smoke New World cigars and then try Cuban cigars, they say, oh, what's all the fuss about? This is bland, it's mild, it's nothing to it, there's no kick. Once if you've smoked for years and you've smoked Dominican, Honduran, or any New World cigars, you may well find Cuban cigars to be too mild for you. $37. There you go. Cheap as chips. What are the perks? Well, the main perk is you'll be a member of the Pipe Club of London. You'll get a quarterly magazine leaflet type thing. But for me, one of the highlights is that, well, there's two highlights. One is that you can join the virtual meetings once a month, which is nice because it's not like some other clubs where you've got 20, 30, 40 people and you just can't get a word in. Usually the Pipe Club of London ones are not as heavily populated and you can actually get to know people. But for me, another highlight is, I mean, it used to be going to actual physical meetups, which unfortunately don't happen anymore for me. There are 2 meetups each month. I can't do them. I can't make them. So, well, one of them doesn't exist anymore. So there's only one meetup now, which is on a Saturday, and I can't go to that. So I'm only able to go to the virtual ones if I don't happen to be working on that night. And this past Thursday was one of those, but I was working, so I couldn't make that either. But a big perk is the club pipe. The club pipe each year is an excellent pipe, and it's always made special. It's always got silver on it or some kind of band on it, which has got the stamp saying Pipe Club of London, and the year of the club pipe year, and they always get a fantastic deal. So, I mean, we've had a Mastro de Paya, which was the 50th anniversary pipe for the Pipe Club of London, a very special pipe, a largish pipe, had a silver band plus a gold ingot on it. Okay, it was made special because it was 50th anniversary, so they put a bit of gold on because 50 is gold, and it was just £150. You know, for Mastro de Paya, that's a steal. I mean, that is obviously a special pipe, but I could probably sell that pipe for 3-4 times that amount. I mean, I haven't smoked it yet, but it's a 9mm, so I'm holding on to that. I mean, we've since had another pipe, which was made by Nirup, but it's actually stamped Peter Jefferson. So Peter Jefferson, he does two lines of pipes. He has the Nerup line and he has the Peter Jefferson, Peter Jefferson pipes. So the Jefferson pipes are supposed to be a higher level than the Nerups. To be honest with you, the pipe that we got really is a Nerup, but he stamped it Jefferson just to give it a little bit more kudos. Oh, hi Mark, pleasure. If you're interested, I could fish out some of the recent club pipes. If you're interested, I'll have to fish down a box, but I'm happy to do that if you want to see them. I can show you the 50th anniversary one as well, and I think I've got the 2017, the 2018. I think I've got all of them from then. So this is the This is the 2017 one, which is a beautiful panelled pipe. It's got some lovely grain on the rim. Got a silver band which says 2018 Pipe Club of London, and this nice horns tile acrylic stem. It's just a beautiful pipe. This one is not 9mm, but because it's so beautiful I didn't get rid of it, and I might just keep it as it is, or I might one day convert it to 9mm. So you can see it's not 9mm, that one, but it really is a beautiful piece. They really outdid themselves on that one. And 2018 is this meerschaum, which you've seen before. So this is the meerschaum with this beautiful carving on the front, which is the logo of the Pipe Club of London. Really beautifully done, and it has PCOL on there, 2018. Gorgeous pipe, and it smokes very well. In 2019 I don't think I have here. This one is the Vaughan, and this is which year? This one is 2022. 21 I think was the Chacombe, which I just don't have to hand. It's actually, yeah, that's actually up on the shelf there. So this is 2021. This is the Chacombe Bulldog, silver band, and you can see Pipe Club of London 2021. This one has seen some use. Very nice pipe. Actually smoked very well from day one, that pipe. That's memorable to me for that reason. This is 2022. This is a 9mm, as yet unsmoked. A nice sandblast. Really interesting shape, and again the logo has been laser etched on the base. It's a really beautiful pipe from Vaughan. And then this is the 50th anniversary one from Mastro de Paya, and the year is 2020. It's PCOL. And there you have silver band, which is tarnished now, but the gold ingot, which obviously has not tarnished, and that says PCOL. Mastro de Paya. And as yet unsmoked. It is 9mm. got a bit of a panelled sort of sides. It's oval, but then sort of just flattened off on the edges to make it a bit of a panel. So that one as yet on smoke. It's got an extreme bend in it, so drilling on it is interesting. The question is how it will smoke. The draw seems okay, so we shall see at some point if and when I light this one up. We shall see how it smokes. See you, Mark. Thanks for joining. So I'm hoping tomorrow to get the workshop usable. I've ordered some casters for the shaping wheel stand, but it's usable without the casters. Just be a little bit lower, but perfectly usable. I think the main task for tomorrow is to set up the bandsaw and to also set up extraction for the shaping wheel. Yeah, well, the thing with the smoking pipes is it looks like everybody's getting hit with customs. So whatever method of shipping they were using before seems to have stopped. And I think it's taking longer as well. As I say, I ordered the Tupelo when it came out, and I'm still waiting for it. How long ago was the Tupelo? Anybody know? A month. So that's how long I've waited so far. That's a long time. I've just realised this thing's got an anchor on it, some kind of shipping reference. Just going through some photos of my mum's stuff, came across this photo. Look at the cars in the background, how old they are. Can you guess which one's me? That's me there. I must have been about 8 or 9, 7 or 8, something like that. A month. But in the States, you guys don't seem to get hit by customs. Everything seems to get through. And since Brexit, since us getting out of the European Union, it kind of kicked in only in the last 6 months or so. I mean, it kind of kicked in. It was kind of more random beforehand. Sometimes you got stopped, sometimes not. But now everything gets stopped by customs. It's gone ridiculous. I mean, we don't know what the future holds. Maybe they'll have some kind of arrangement with customs, some kind of trade agreement with Europe. Who knows? Well, Andrew likes his tobacco spunky and peppery and smelling of rabbit dung. If it doesn't have those features, he doesn't like it. He doesn't buy it. Is that right, Andrew? There you go. I thought you were heading over here at some point, Andrew. Is that happening? December. Okay, that's not too far away. I look forward to that. You're going to be here over the holidays? You're going to bring your ladies with you? Why don't you make it a holiday? Over the holiday? Yeah, they've gone really high. I mean, to pay £150 on a $40–50 pack of cigars is crazy. Are you going to a match? Good for you. If you could convince the wives. I don't know many wives who need convincing to travel. Oh, right, fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough. It's understandable. I will say this, the special Latakia flake, after relighting it, has become more spicy. It's like more concentrated. Well, it could just be that I'm getting towards the end of the bowl, and then it's a bit more spicy at the end. Well, folks, I think, where are we? 1:10. I don't want to go to bed too late, so I can have the energy to work tomorrow and get this place shipshape. So I'm gonna say goodnight to you guys. Thanks very much for joining, as always. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Ash. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, McPhil, Patrick, Mad Piper, Welsh Piper, Chip, Nathan, Sam. Oh, hi, Sam. I didn't see you coming in. And everybody else, Texas, thanks for joining. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll catch you on the next one.